Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Travel Coffee Break. I'm Alistair Mackenzie, and we're going to be talking about the last few days. We're going to be talking about Nantes, magical city in the west of France, where we've been having a travel blogger conference. And joining me, I've got Mike Young, who was attending the conference. And Mike, you're back home now in Holland, aren't you?
That's correct. I'm back in Venlo in the Netherlands.
Excellent. Okay, well, we're going to do that, talk about Nantes, and then if there's anybody else, by the way, who went to Nantes for the TBU conference and you'd like to join us as well, then do let me know. Probably one of the best ways to do it is to use the Q&A app, which... you can see the Q&A buttons. If you're watching this from the event screen, which is the one I've been posting out to everybody, then you can mention it in there, and I'll make sure that you get a direct invitation, as it were. But I have sent out invites now to all the usual crowd. I mean, the Travel Coffee Break participant list, invite list, that's the word I'm looking for. So the other thing I'm going to do today, depending how time pans out, is I'm going to see if I can recreate, or at least do a potted version of the presentation that what I presented at TBU, and that's because the subject of the presentation was how you need to include Hangouts on air in your blog trips. It was aimed principally at travel industry delegates and travel PRs, but travel bloggers were there as well. And I was intending to do it actually as a Hangout. And of course, the Hangout gods, in particular the Wi-Fi gods, decided that was not going to happen in any shape or form. So I'm afraid it didn't work, didn't happen. And my fallback position was to simply video record the whole thing. So I set up a little flip camera to record it. And when I checked at the end, I discovered that for some reason it has switched itself off all of about 60 seconds in, so there's absolutely no record of it at all. So the idea is that if I get a chance, what I'll do is I'll run through those slides, and in that way put the presentation up here in the Hangout. So let's get on with, oh, hello, I've just seen a request from Oliver there to join. Now, Oliver normally doesn't need an invitation. I mean, because he can find it usually anyway. He gets generous. He gets invited with everybody else. I'm just talking here. You can tell I'm rambling. I'm trying to find the right box to invite him. Oh, why isn't that showing up as him? Okay, you'll have to bear with me for a second. Mike, why don't you take over for a minute, because one of the things that we were going to do was you were taking a lot of photographs while you were out there in Nantes. So would you like to, because I know you've just been trying to get them into a screen to show us. Do you want to pop those up while I try and get?
Sure. We just switch this on and let's see. Control. Let's do it here. Hang on. Take. Did it switch over?
At that moment I'd left the screen, so no, it hasn't switched over yet.
All right, give me a second here. For whatever reason. Let's see. Come on. Let's try it again.
Have you toggled the screen share?
I thought I did. Did it switch over?
No. It should toggle screen share and then find the one you want and select the one you want on the screen share offering, yeah, and then that should put it up.
Sorry about that. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Start screen share. Is that better now?
That's better. That's showing me, but
Oh,
hopefully,
hang on.
there we are.
Here we go.
That's the sort of thing.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Hooray!
All
Yeah,
right. Good, good.
talk
Sorry
us
about that,
through
everyone.
some of these.
Yeah, so as we went through Nantes, there were certainly plenty of things to see and do in Nantes, and I'm not going to go over all of the sites because there are sites to see. But as I went through Nantes, I discovered, it's not really about the sites there. It's really a different place. It's kind of a special place, I feel. And as you see on the screen, it's not just a city, but more of a way of life. And that was real apparent as I walked through Nantes. We were lucky to attend one of the festivals in Nantes, and these photos, or the photo series I'm going to show today, shows what we saw as we went through the city. And these were just crowds. There were people sitting everywhere, on the streets, on benches, on tables, everywhere across the city, and we just decided to swing by this one and take a quick photo. As we went through the city, there was this bridge, and you can kind of see this arch bridge. And what happens is there's these group of people that put these swings off the metal railings on the top part of the archway or the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy at the bottom who actually was playing a Spanish guitar. There was an office desk, an office chair set up, and just people kind of congregating around the staircase. And every once in a while, what would happen is different people would hop on the swing and just start swinging, just kind of randomly. I got this shot. This was one time when there was actually all three females swinging on the swing. And that was quite the sight to see that. And then one I was able to capture was this one person on the swing. I was able to actually capture him and kind of follow him, and I actually pulled him right into focus. So I'm real proud that this one came out so nice.
That's excellent. What a find.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was really, you think about it, I've never seen this in any city at all, to actually have someone on a swing swinging, and this was like about 15 to 20 feet in the air, and they weren't just swinging like a little bit. I mean, they were really swinging quite a bit. So it was a real interesting find. The next one, we were back kind of on the river where we had this festival. This is all on the same night.
Mm-hmm. And
you can just see people congregating around everywhere, in every little crevice, nook, and cranny, and on boats. And there were young people, old people, there were kids, just everyone out having a good time. And there wasn't really a police present or any noticeable police present. It was just all people enjoying themselves and enjoying a beautiful evening with music around the river and watching life go by. So it was a fantastic evening.
This was the jazz festival night.
That's correct. That's correct. And it was happening all over the city. So there were probably over half a dozen venues where music was being played live. Not all at the same time, but kind of staggered. So you could kind of go to one venue, listen when that was finished, and walk on to another venue.
All right.
And as we started walking this direction, this was our site that we saw. These boats would kind of come to this area and turn around here. And one of the places we decided to go is to grab some mussels and fries, and grab a bite to eat. So this was it looked like a man and his daughter hanging out. He noticed I was taking some photos, and he kind of smiled, and he offered me a glass of wine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you can see it's kind of at an angle, but that's kind of really how it was. This was kind of tapered down towards the waterfront, and we're kind of sitting right on the edge.
Because normally the first thing they do is ask you for a model release form or something, money. Yeah. Offering wine is a complete turnaround.
Yeah, no, he was really really happy. Of course, he didn't speak any English. A lot of people there spoke some English, but he didn't speak any. I spoke a little bit of French, very little bit. But I told him where I was from, and I'm originally from South Louisiana, which is a French-based society. And I spoke a little bit of French, and told him I was from the New Orleans area, and of course he was real happy to hear that, and offered me a glass and was a real interesting fellow. Now,
I'm interested by the tunnel in the background. Is that were you, when you took this photograph? Excuse me. Were you on the side of the river that we all came to when we came to the jazz festival?
it was on the opposite side. In fact, it's right across the way. So if you see the boat
Yes,
on
I can now.
the
Yes.
left-hand side of the screen,
Yeah, that's where we were.
that's where we were. So we were just really right across the river.
Excellent. Well, that tunnel, I didn't fully realize it, but that tunnel goes, I mean, it must go for miles because it goes right the way through the center of the town. I mean, past the the big high area where the fairground is and everything else, and then down, it comes out by the canal, by the Congress Hotel, the Convention Center Hotel, where we were staying. So that's an enormous tunnel.
That is pretty big, because walking that area, it took us quite a while to get from the area, the hotel, over to this area. So that is quite a large tunnel, or quite a long tunnel, I should say.
Mm.
So just as we're sitting here right in this spot, this happens. And in fact, you can see the foot kind of on the right-hand side of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shoe of the girl that was in the photo, the previous photo.
Oh, yeah.
So we had finished eating literally by 2 or 3 minutes, and this small little sailboat pulls up, and they ask us if we want to ride with them on the sailboat.
Oh, wow.
Just out of the blue. So of course we say yes, and we ride on the sailboat with them for about 45 minutes, have a wonderful time, and then we come back and we pull back into the spot where we departed from. So the last photo I'll show is this photo here. This was a photo taken of one of the the venues playing music, and these were people watching that concert. And again, the whole evening was just really a spectacular evening. The people were just fantastic, and you can see it's more about enjoying themselves and having a good time and enjoying life than it is per se about what type of buildings and what they have to see. These people are pretty inclusive, and if you just show a little bit of interest, they'll include you in conversations, and they'll ask, and they want to know about you, and they'll actually treat you very, very kindly.
That's extraordinary. That's a really good photograph. In fact, you've taken some amazing photographs there, I think. I'm seriously impressed, and actually rather disappointed, because I was going to show something. Well, I'll show it anyway, and embarrass myself as a result. You want to click on the screen share thing? That should get you back to...
Yeah, let me... Sorry about that.
That's okay. That should get you back to you, and there we go. Let me by comparison... Yes, we're back with you.
Okay.
Let me show you... Oh, hold on, I've got the same problem now. Why can't I see the one I was looking for? Oh, here we are. This is something I thought was rather interesting. This is, you know that Google now, if you use Google+, does this automated process. So you've seen Auto Awesome probably, where Google, if you take photographs with your Android phone, it'll basically sort of animate things. If you take for example a snow scene, white fields and things like that, it'll immediately start adding snowflakes into it and all that kind of stuff. And this is it does this storifying process, and you have to understand that. This is as it's just. I mean, basically, it alerted me that it had done it. I have done nothing to this. So in other words, this is Google entirely deciding that I have done a trip, and they've even titled it "Trip to Nantes." Or rather, the machine has, and this is the sort of the cover of it. But if you then go into the story, it does. Oh, I'm clicking it on the wrong thing now. I'm clicking it on the Hangouts, where I need to be clicking it actually on the thing itself. There we go. Right, if you go into the story here, I'm hoping you can see this. The first thing it does is do the map.
Oh, that's pretty slick.
Which is great, isn't it? Now everybody knows where we're talking about. We've been talking about Nantes, and I imagine a lot of people are not really sure where it is. Well, it's here in the west of France, below. Well, here's Normandy here. Here's the sticky out bit with Saint Malo at the top up there, and then here's Brittany sticks out here to Ushant, and so it's down this this coast, and it is slightly off the beaten track. And I think one of the things that I thought was really interesting about Nantes was the way they described themselves, because it's clearly an immensely creative city, home of Jules Verne. It has an industrial legacy because it is. You can see here the Loire River, and you can see even on this map you can distinguish the Loire. It's a big river. Well, this point here where Nantes is where it was where in Nantes they built ships and then sailed them down and out to the sea. Down the Loire itself. So it's a shipbuilding centre, although none of that now still exists. A port and a creative centre. And I was really impressed with the way they were talking about their own idea of themselves, and also the fact that they've won various awards for being a green city and things like that. But also I think they said that they have the highest level happiness quotient in France, which I think is pretty spectacular too. So going forward and through the Google story, I've yet to caption these because I haven't done anything with it yet. This is I don't know if you can see that because it's quite a dark photo, but it's actually Ninka from thetraveltester.com. She's flew in with me on a CityJet flight into Nantes. And by the way, I think Nantes would make a fantastic weekend break destination, and I am meaning to check out the various flight schedules from both CityJet, who fly from London City directly to Nantes, and EasyJet, who fly from Gatwick to Nantes, to make sure there are flights for that, because I think you could have a really good time in Nantes. Here's the hotel we was.
Real quick, I would just recommend definitely flying in for a weekend, but if you could look and check to see when there's a festival, I'd highly recommend flying in when there was a festival, because it just adds to what you can do in the city.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. This is this rather extraordinary building that was very close to the hotel. I've forgotten the name of it now. This is all part of the city, and it's included my little video clips taken around the castle, which is sort of the centre point here. You were saying just now you don't want to take photographs of just buildings all the time. Well, I'm sorry, that was me. I'm not such a good photographer. That's why.
Well, wrong, Alistair. I took the same thing. I just wanted to show something that was a little bit unique, and especially unique in Nantes. I can't always find situations like this, especially I've never seen anything like the swings. So. But I have plenty of what you have as well.
Oh, good. Okay. This is taken from the top of the Bretagne Tower, and just a view of the city and the cathedral there. But interestingly, they've also included. We stopped on the first night at or rather, we went to Chez Maman. We're trying to get in there and didn't actually make it. But what it hasn't done is put in the review that I actually wrote about one of the other restaurants, Italian restaurant. I've forgotten the name of it now. And so clearly, they've picked. The Google algorithms have picked that out because I made a query about it or tried to find it on the map, rather than knowing that I actually ate there. This is the nightclub, I suppose it is, at the top of the Bretagne Tower, where we took these photographs from. And I think that's probably August 29th into another day. Here we are at the Novotel. So it knows where you've been. Here's the tram. Here's the centre of town. And that was a moment inside the castle. Here we are at the conference itself on the Saturday. This is the first panel session looking from the stage, and that's the second panel session looking the other way. Food and so on and so forth. Now here's where we were. That when you took those photographs of the activities around the water at night during the jazz festival, this is before it got dark, and here's actually a little video clip, which I guess will run now, but
there you go.
And you were over there, I think.
That's correct. I was right over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then close that one down. Hold on a second. I've got Ollie asking for another. Let's see if that works. Try that. Asking for another invite. And then we get to what was this one? Oh, hold on. We're in the. I've jumped out of the thing itself now. Anyway, it's probably not worth going on with, but anyway, let's just race through again quickly, find it where we were. By the way, this the castle here is the canal we were talking about goes past the castle and is underneath a lot of the views that we were showing here. Trying to find. Okay, so this is August the 30th. That's the start. That's the food. That's the thingy there. I'm not sure what that was. That's the castle again. Some of the buildings. There's the restaurant that we were staying. We rather liked, but I still can't read the name of it. San Carlos, I think it is. Oh, and here are some cars I thought were rather interesting. These are little rental cars outside the centre. And then we wound up at the machines of the Ile of Nantes. Now, this is something that's pretty spectacular and pretty much appears in every view of Nantes, because it features this amazing giant elephant that people walk on. But there's much more to the site than just that. There are all these other devices, and I've got several bits of film and footage of people on those devices, and a little panorama here from the very top of the carousel, which is a rather glorious thing. So there we go. And then finally, I think it shows us going back home. To Greenwich for some reason, not quite sure why, but yeah, I thought that was quite a good effort on Google's part of automation. He said finding his way back to the Hangout and clicking. No, he hasn't. Hold on. To there. And there we go. That's better. So, yeah, I was quite impressed with the way that Google actually managed to do that. So so good job, Google. Thank you very much. Now, our thoughts on Nantes. Oliver hasn't been able to join us. I just sent him a physical invite, so not sure what's happening there. Our thoughts, Mike, on Nantes from a convention point of view, from the TBU conference point of view. I thought it was a really interesting weekend with some really good speakers. In particular, I'd highlight Terry Lee, who I think sort of touched on one of the themes that ran through the whole conference, which was the need to be more businesslike.
Yeah, no, I went to his speech as well, or his presentation as well on Sunday. Oh, no, I'm sorry, on Monday. And yeah, I think he did a really good job. But there was a lot of people that did really good jobs. I know Rochelle had a good presentation on Twitter. Several people had done really good jobs. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very informative conference.
Did you come away feeling you learned something?
Oh, absolutely. I learned quite a bit from the Rotterdam TBU conference, and this conference as well. I got a lot out of it. I think as not only did I get stuff out of the presentations that were there, but it's just meeting all the people and networking with those people. Just for example, I have never attended a hangout until I really went to your lecture, and I said, hey, let's get together and work together on this. So I think that for me added more value, because you're talking with individuals after you attend the classes about that subject. So the class, it's 50 minutes. You're going to get a limited amount of information, not due to any one person or the event. It's just the nature of attending a class. But it's being able to talk with those people after that, and grab a bite to eat or walk with them through town, that you pick up so much information.
Yeah, I think so too. I also thought that the size of it, because it's a how should we call it, a boutique festival conference. So as you say, it's very easy for everybody to be very approachable and to be able to talk and network during the course of the conference days. So that was really good, and I did think that for me, the overall theme was undoubtedly how the travel blogging industry has begun to get a lot more serious. You could tell most of the discussions were about how we were becoming more businesslike, and furthermore, both the industry and the DMOs and travel PRs are also becoming more businesslike as well, and it's beginning to settle down into a much more professional arrangement now between both sides, between industry and bloggers as well. So I thought that was a really interesting aspect to it, and I'm guessing you picked up on that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, with Terry highlighting his speech, but even the people from the industry that were there were much more serious this time about trying to allocate funds and things of that nature as we go forward to not just use our content, not just say, hey, this is what's available, but actually work on a long-term arrangement for the industry.
Okay. All right. Well, let's turn now, if I might, to the presentation that I gave. Like I say, my intention was to, in effect, reproduce it here, but I'll sort of skip over parts of it. And I'm very grateful that I had actually I had quite a full room when I did the presentation at the conference, and you were one of those in it. So don't feel, Mike, as if you have to sit here all the way through and endure all that again. But if you wanted to comment or anything like that, then please do.
Okay, so, no, I'm hanging around, so I'll hang out with you proverbially. So
okay, well, in that case, what I'll do is, like I say, I'll try and whiz through it, because some parts of it, at least, I think are probably not all that relevant. He said, trying to find the actual thing itself. Where is it? Okay, now I did, I think, put it up there. Nope, that's one of those. Oops, let's kill that off, shall we? Go back to me. Okay, I did actually create a screen for this, and I've now completely, here it is. No, it's not. That's the picture. I've now lost it at the appropriate moment. Isn't that useful? Here it is. Right, there it is. Okay. Right, so let's just get back to the window there and see if I can, that's better. There it is. Bingo. Got it. That looks right, doesn't it? Yeah. That's the first slide.
Okay.
Right. Now if I get back up here, there we go. Right, okay. So this was the title of the presentation that I was doing, why you need to incorporate Hangouts into blogtrips. But in fact, a more accurate one would have been why you might want to incorporate, and it's actually Hangouts on Air, of course, into blogtrips. Now, I then did a little section just explaining what Hangouts are, and I did these as still slides because trying to do it live quickly, particularly when you're already trying to do a Hangout on the same PC in the same process, is probably asking a bit much. So this is what you normally see when I do a Hangout, as you are now, but I was pointing out that the good and the brave also do Hangouts, so the Royals have even got in on the act, and so to NASA they do a regular Hangout every month, talking about their projects and inviting questions and so on. And I think also there's some very good uses for Hangouts. This was it's actually a video. This was a Hangout with Daria Musk, who is probably she's the poster girl really for Google Hangouts when it comes to music, and in this particular case, this was a Mashable Hangout where she and her musical partner, producer, stroke bass player, whose name I've forgotten, were demonstrating how Google have now created, or that had then created, a new audio codec, so that when she gave concerts like this, a little bit fuzzy there, but as she does, then she could switch to this audio codec that actually highlights the bass and all the color, the full color of the audio range, rather than being speech oriented. There's also, as soon as Hangouts came out, this guy John Butterill, again, it's a video which you can look at, and there is a set of links to these videos and these slides, the people I mentioned in the slides. But this was almost as soon as Google Hangouts turned up. This guy started going out with his camera and with an iPhone mounted on the top that was plugged into, or rather was had a Hangout running on it. So what he could do was take people with him on his tours, and in this case, you can see here, this is somebody else in the group who does tours. This one's in Austria, and the people in the window, many of them, or a couple of them at least, are bedridden, unable to get out, but they're able to sort of direct him and say, could you point the camera over there? Could you point it to the right? And join him on the walk. The really clever thing that I think is coming. This is a Hangout with Diane von Furstenberg, who's a fashion designer, fashion and accessories, and Eva Chen there is she's a fashion magazine editor who's presenting this particular Hangout. And these guys in the bottom here, they're all fashion bloggers and fashion experts. But what's really interesting is over here on the right, and you can see when they, because they sit in this sort of studio fashion, so they're able to stand up and walk around. And in this case, here we are. Here's Diane showing off this dress here with this model. But on the right here are actually the clothes and the accessories that she's talking about. And when you click on these, it opens up a new window where you can shop and buy them. And that's, I think, a very interesting development for the future. So it's all that's all good so far. But here comes the elephant in the room. We're back to our non-elephant now. The elephant in the room is that the numbers viewing. Google Hangouts on air don't attract large numbers. And that's not entirely true. Some big events, when the Royals are doing it, maybe they do. But for the most part, for ordinary mortals, they're not good. So I would expect at any one time to have maybe 10, if I'm really lucky, 20 viewers. Sometimes I've had them up to about 35, I think. Not good when it's live. When, of course, the great joy of Google Hangouts is that as soon as you've finished, it goes immediately to a video. So when it comes to the video, then clearly over time, then you may get many more. So I've got some videos of Hangouts. For example, when we talked about rail travel or horse travel, those have over a few months collected 600 views, that kind of thing. So the numbers aren't great for those watching, neither live nor the recorded version. But the numbers for participation are not great either. We've just, here we are doing this Hangout, and as you know, basically I've got Mike as my guest. Oliver's been trying to get in, but obviously hasn't been able to. So finding people to participate in Hangouts can be really hard, and there's a number of reasons for that. It's hard to get panelists because most people, it turns out, are camera shy. They not all that keen on appearing in front of a camera, and that I think is a great shame. But there's not much you can do about it other than trying to make people, make them feel happier, make them feel comfier. I've just hit that thing and done it on the wrong window, so let's just find where I was. Is that it? Most people are camera shy. Here we are. It's live. Most people are extra camera shy when it's live, and industry professionals, they worry about making a mistake. Now, my intention when I set up the Travel Coffee Break was to make it a platform for both travel bloggers, even consumers, but really travel industry people, travel PRs and the like, to talk about their product, the sort of stuff that they would normally send a press release about. Actually talk about it live, because it's much more interesting that way. I mean, if something is really dull, like opening an extension on a hotel, is transformed when you're actually talking about it with somebody who's enthusiastic about it. So I thought that would work really well, and in fact, it turns out that many industry professionals are really wary about appearing on a live platform, and certainly a live platform that's then going to be saved to YouTube in perpetuity. So that's another issue. It's techie. It's difficult to get in sometimes. There's Oliver somewhere. I think he's in France, which maybe he's got some problems with the Wi-Fi or something like that, as I had when I tried to do this presentation. That's an issue. It's timed. If you say to somebody you're going to be doing a hangout at a particular time, you'd think that would be great because they can do it from wherever they are. But in fact, it tends to turn people off slightly because they go, oh well, I don't know if I want to commit myself to Wednesday at 5 o'clock because I might be in a meeting at that time. And it's Google, and a lot of people, it's one network too far. They've already got Facebook, they've already got Twitter, they've already got Instagram. They don't need another network. So it can be a problem. And if you go back to the original title of the presentation, why you need to incorporate Hangouts into blogtrips, well, you might well be wondering, why would you want to? But there is light at the end of the tunnel, as it were, because the future very much lies in video. I'm wondering if anybody knows what this is. This is a screenshot from actually, when I first took the screenshot, which was just over a week ago, you probably wouldn't have done, but I think a few people might now, because people have heard that Twitch TV, which is this channel for live streaming games, anything from World of Warcraft through to The Sims, through to, in this case, World of Tanks. It's a platform for people to watch those games live, and you'd think to yourself, well, why is that of any interest to us? Well, the reason is because it's all part of a movement. Remember, I'm talking about Google Hangouts on Air as being a live video production. This guy here is a guy called Quickie Baby, and every Tuesday and Thursday from about 5 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock, that's UK time, he plays World of Tanks, and he does it with a couple of other friends who you can hear in the stream, and he gets, and if you look down to the bottom right of this screen, he gets roughly 4,500 viewers live watching him do it, and that's an extraordinary number. And when you begin to look at the numbers that Twitch TV, because this is World of Tanks is not the largest game channel group in Twitch TV by a long stretch, and when you start looking at some of the other players, some of the other people who stream their games on Twitch TV, the numbers really begin to rank up. I found him through one of the people that he plays with regularly. He plays most times with a guy called Jingles and a Norwegian called Ike, and it was Jingles who first drew my attention to it. Jingles is aka Bohemian Eagle. Real name is Paul Charlton, and he has this video channel where he, again, he doesn't do live streaming, but what he does is he does videos of gameplay, World of Tanks, or usually the other one, what's it called, War Thunder. But he also started doing visits to museums, tank museums, aircraft museums, all that kind of thing. And they were very, very popular. You can't see underneath this screen, but it says here something like 62,000 viewers. If I press this hide button, I think it'll disappear from my screen, so I'm not going to. The first time I began to really think about this was when I noticed that as he was recording these videos in these places, people would walk up to him, fans would walk up to him quite often and say, "Oh, your Jingles." So this guy is a TV celebrity, except he just doesn't happen to be on mainstream TV. Wouldn't it be amazing if he started doing other stuff as well as this kind of coverage of museums and the like, related to travel? Well, as it happens, he has. This is just recently he's been out in the States recording some videos about air shows and air museums and the like, and while he was out there he started doing these little restaurant reviews, and this one I happened to record. It's only 3 and going on 4 minutes long, and it's of an independent burger joint in Delaware, Ohio, called Son of Thurman. Yes, Mike.
I'm sorry. Is he doing the Hangouts, or is he? I mean, because I see it on YouTube. Is this after the fact it's on YouTube, or is he doing the Hangouts live and?
No, he's actually doing. He basically he records everything. He doesn't do them live, which is the points I'm trying to make really are that there is both live and there is recorded, but overall there's this unrelenting trend towards video content, and video content that's produced by the likes of you and I, in other words, not TV companies, and also video content which is being watched in large numbers, because this particular one here that I was showing, if you look at where I've circled it there, you'll see that was 24,609 views 18 hours after he published that particular video. So it's
pretty incredible.
It's pretty incredible. And there are other guys doing even more, because not this one as it happens. This one's I was illustrating the range of stuff that people are doing out there, and this is more sort of travel-y oriented. This is Ant's wild camping vids. This guy goes off most weekends during the summer and every other weekend or so in the winter, and goes wild camping, which is technically illegal in the UK, but if you go out into the wilds and camp, nobody's all that bothered if you leave everything undisturbed. But he just makes videos about it, and each one's about sort of 30 minutes long, and he doesn't get huge numbers. You can see here 1,263 views on this one, and 907 views on this one. But it's interesting stuff, and there are a lot of people who are doing the same thing. Here's his list of channels that he watches. So there are a lot of people out there, maybe not in big numbers individually, but together, drawing in big numbers of viewers. This guy is a chef, exactly like a TV chef, very charismatic. He's got the gift of the gab, and he basically does. Ignore this one. This is his ice bucket challenge, I think. But he normally does these cooking shows in his kitchen at home, and quite often, one of the things that I think is interesting, if you are a destination, then he gets packages sent to him by his fans of local food. So he might get a package with some olive oil and dates or something from somebody in Cyprus, and he'll start trying to make things of those ingredients. So if you were a destination marketing organization, then you would want to be inviting this guy out to your neck of the woods to maybe do a little cooking show out there in a lovely location somewhere in Italy, that kind of thing, and pulling in these sorts of numbers. These are 4,000 or 100,000 views each. Going back to the guy Jingles who makes those videos at in the tank museums and the aircraft museums, my point there was when I did the presentation on Sunday that, again, if you were a DMO, let's say for the sake of argument you were the Normandy Tourist Board, then you've just had your 75th anniversary of the D-Day landing, so it's a bit late now. But in the build-up to that, you should have been inviting this guy out there to visit the various sites and make a video about it and drawing in all those sorts of numbers. These guys, if you want some big numbers, nothing to do with travel whatsoever. But if you have some way of finding something that they could work with, then it would be certainly worthwhile. They specialize in just doing slow motion videos. They got this slow motion, high-tech slow motion gear, and they do well, that's not very attractive. It's a slow motion vomit, but a dog leaping here to bite something. They shoot. I've seen them shooting bullets under swimming pools and things like that. So my thinking was that if you, for example, with the Dutch Tourist Board, you've got this cultural event that happens in the new year where you basically in the rural community they fill up their milk churns with I'm not quite sure what it is. It's called carbide shooting, but they fill them up with something or other and then stick a football or a melon in the end and set fire to it, and it fires off like a cannon. Now that would be a perfect thing to invite these guys to, and when you do, you'd bring with them their 1,007,601 views here, or down here 1.5 million views. Big numbers. This one, the giant bubbles popping in slow motion, 2.2 million views. So it is absolutely a huge business. This guy, I was introducing him into the discussion because you don't have to take my word for it. His name is Alexis Sideropoulos. He's the marketing director for Contiki, and he's been exploiting this market. This is where the pedal hits the metal, as it were, because he was telling us a few weeks ago at a festival when I took this photograph that the week that HBO showed the final episode of Series 4 of Game of Thrones, in the USA and the UK, their combined viewing figures for that was 8.4 million viewers. When he was going, that's great, but these guys that he uses for Contiki, in that same week they got 19 million views of their videos. They're called Boyfriend versus Girlfriend, BF versus GF, and they just do sort of silly things and challenge each other to silly things. But if this is their page here, if you scroll down, you can see they've done Euro trips, Australia trip, Euro trip. These are trips that are all backed by Contiki, sponsored by Contiki. They're not doing particularly touristy things, except here, for example, this is Swinging on Top of the World, 2.194 million views. Where are these figures here? 1 million views, 1.3 million views, 1.3 million views, 2.2 million views. Huge, absolutely huge numbers. Surfing, just under 1,893,000. So my point really is that these guys are bringing in huge numbers, and video is becoming very much the name of the game. And the reason for that is because the whole culture's changing. And I was asking the delegates on Sunday if they knew what this is. Well, obviously it's a Chromecast. It's a Google device. You stick it in your TV. I have one, and you can cast. Basically, you can just send anything you're using on your viewing or doing on your phone, on your laptop, on your PC, straight, or your tablet, straight through to the television. And that's the way that television is now being consumed. So somebody like me, and I'm not representative of this market at all, because I'm way too old for this kind of stuff, but all the same, I do exactly the same thing. I don't watch television at night. Instead, I sit there and cast Twitch TV games or Ants Wild videos or any of those things onto my TV. This is Twitch that got sold to Amazon for a steal, really, 970 million quid, just under $1 billion. Google wanted it for just over a billion, rather, but they were rather anxious about the all of the, I forget what the title for it is now, but basically they've already got a big YouTube channel in YouTube, and they were worried about all of the legal attempts to prevent them from achieving any kind of a monopoly position. So they stood back from it. Amazon got it. This is the browsing page of Twitch, and you can see this when I took that screenshot is what's happening at the moment. League of Legends, there are 69,000 viewers watching that live at that moment. Hearthstone Heroes, 13,000, and so it goes on. And like I say, World of Tanks is down here, down the bottom. I can't see the figure on it, but so that's not a biggie. Those are the sorts of numbers that are occurring, and so at peak hours, Twitch TV actually has more viewers than MTV, and is on a par with Comedy Central and other mainstream television channels. Now, the reason all that's important is because this is live TV, Twitch TV itself, a live video, and I think that what's going to be happening now is that more and more people are going to be used, and certainly the Generation Y and Generation Z are already used to being in front of a camera and watching people in front of a camera. And as this guy here from Livestream, Max Howe, was saying that interacting with celebrities and artists is a growing trend. In other words, unlike mainstream TV, where you just sit there and watch what's going on, with live streamed TV, you can usually participate. There's a way to be able to engage in the same way that you would in comments on a blog. I mean, it really is social media, but in video form. And Tom Coate, who actually runs a channel himself, a comedy show, he is saying, okay, right now, as I was saying earlier on, people don't necessarily have the confidence to go live, but it is going to change, and as he says at the bottom, it will be widespread. So I think that's definitely the way it's going to go. Mike, you were about to say something.
No, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I think this, whether it's live or whether it's on YouTube, you certainly see people use it, and on the other side, I'm an Apple user. I have an Apple TV, and I do just like you. I'll take my iPad out, I'll see a video, I'll pull it up and watch it on my TV. I have about 4 or 5 podcasts that broadcast. One of my podcasts is daily, and the other ones are twice a week. And I'll watch those podcasts, and there's a fair amount of time that I'm spending watching internet-based TV versus the normal TV or over the air or through a cable TV. I'm watching a bigger portion of that smaller content provided by smaller users, other than these large corporations.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, and that's really where I'm going, because the point I was making there was that things like this, the Google Glass and our wearable watches, that is all going to again make this just part of the fabric. That we absorb video, be it live or be it recorded, on all sorts of platforms, and furthermore, we will be doing it. I mean, we will be doing Hangouts, some of which may be public or may not, naturally, by using devices like this, or through using devices like this. Now, I've just gone and clicked on the wrong one again. See if I can find the right one. Is that it? Yeah. So back to the original questions. Do you want to incorporate Hangouts on air into blog trips? Well, my feeling is now, why wouldn't you? If it's going to be part of the fabric, it's going to be part of what people expect, then I think that if you are a DMO, if you're somebody who organizes blog trips, if you're a travel PR, then you probably should give it a go. How? Well, you need to think about that and who and when and where. This is my suggestion. For the who, invite a blogger who knows how to run Hangouts on air. There are a few. Melvin Boscher does them from time to time. There's Eduardo Perez who does them in Spanish, but he can also do it in English at a pinch if you ask him. There's me, obviously, but there are a few. But there's no reason why. Okay, bad news. There aren't many. Or do it yourself. You can set up a Google Plus account or page, launch a Hangout on air, follow the instructions. If you're doing it the first time around, you'll probably need to get it linked to a YouTube account, and then just start playing with it. You don't have to invite anybody when you start a Hangout, so you can play with it and see how all the apps work and how it works, and then invite a friend. And work with them, and if you start to get serious about it and you think you are going to do this for a blog trip or an outside event, and maybe a launch that you're doing, then you might want to start thinking more seriously about buying, for example, a microphone and a MiFi. And at this point in the presentation on Sunday, I was illustrating this with the gear that I take, which is actually, it's essentially just a laptop. It's a portable mic that I can stick on the table, and I can actually hang several sets of earphones off the back of it as well, so I can take up to 5 people all listening to the feed through earphones on that, and a camera, a separate webcam to the one that's on the laptop, and I can put that on a little tripod, so then I can turn it around and show people where it is we're talking from. So usually I'll sit next to my guest and have the camera pointed at us, but then I can, like I say, I can turn it around and show the view that we're enjoying or whatever it might be. And at the sort of the top end, I've also got a little portable, like a TV studio light that I can use to throw extra light onto us if it's a little bit dark. Where and when? Well, if you are going to do it in a blog trip, I'd suggest day 2 or 3. You know, once people have got something to actually talk about, and a good time is the end of the day before dinner, when your bloggers are gathered, but before they've all got pissed at dinner. Schedule it in the trip itinerary beforehand, so everybody is expecting it. Everybody on the trip's expecting it, and they can be highlighting it as well through social media. They can be advertising and talking about it and building it up before the event itself, so you can get more and more people watching it live. And in order to do that, you want to create the Hangout as an event, so it's scheduled for that time and ready to go. And that means that you can then promote it more easily, because you can give people a place, a URL to go to see that thing when it happens. And for the where, somewhere quiet. I say a quiet room, doesn't have to be a quiet room, but anywhere that's quiet, that's a good. You want a table so you can put your laptop and your camera down there, and if possible, with good lighting in it, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple stuff. If you need advice on all of this kind of thing, then this guy, Ronnie Binzer, he produces videos. You can see this is his actually his website page, but if you go to YouTube and find him there, or go to Google Plus, then you can see the, as it were, the video du jour. But half the time, if you do a Google search for how do I join a Hangout or something like that, you'll see one of Ronnie's videos pop up in the Google results. So he's not hard to find at all, and you can find links to all of the ones that I've been talking about here. I'd put that up obviously as a slide so that people could wave their phones at it and get that list. But in fact, what I will do is I'll add it into the notes on this Hangout so people can see it. But it's at that address there. It's just a document, and it's got the links, and you can work your way through them. So that was the presentation. Like I say, I'm trying to find my way back to the Hangout. Where is it? Hold on, there it is. No, it's not. Oh, forgive me. Where's it gone? There it is. That's the presentation as it was. Skipped through fairly quickly. Mike, you really did us great honour by staying on all the way through. But it was a fairly faithful recreation of what I did on Sunday?
I think it was pretty close to what you were able to present over at TBU and Nantes. So it was definitely a good representation of what I saw previously.
Good. Okay. Right. Well, I see we've done actually rather neatly the exact hour. We started at 2 minutes past. Well, your time 2 minutes past 6. It's now 2 minutes past 7. So I think we ought to call it a day there. I'm very grateful for your joining me, Mike, and do feel welcome to pop back anytime in the future. I do these, as everybody knows, weekly, one way or another. I always open the mic and switch on the camera at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays, unless there's something really odd happening that week. So you can always find me here. And Mike, if you want to join me, then you're very welcome to do so. So for now, shall we just say goodbye, I think?
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.